Your limits may not be that high, but it's important that you establish some credit line over time. Um, a lot of them will eventually raise your limits. If you pay off for so long, you can call them up and ask for a limit increase, and they will. Okay? Use those cards often for small purchases. Remember, stay under 30% limit and pay off the balance each month. You could do this with a gas or retail credit card to do the same. Now, there's a couple of lines of thought here. Retail credit cards and gas credit cards are not good for your credit report. Well, that's true if you already have 10 Visa and MasterCards. They're not good. If you have no credit or no credit cards, or you don't believe you could have gotten a credit card in the past, or you had bad credit and you got declined, it's still important to build this relationship with the credit companies and build this establishment over time. So, a gas card will do it, a retail credit card will do it. They usually require a little bit of a higher credit score to get them, but as long as you pay them, it still looks good because you're building a uh, rapport with and building your credit history with a creditor, and that's the most important thing. But don't go hog wild, get yourself 10 credit cards. That's not going to do you. Use a cosigner to get credit. Make sure that the creditor will report the information on the credit in both of your names. Most of the time, you see a cosigner that's on a car, and that's fine. A lot of times, you can get one on a credit card as well. If you do get a cosigner, remember they're going to be a little hesitant about loaning you because they're responsible as well. But make sure that the credit reports both names of information on the credit report. Okay, or reports it as both of your names. If they don't and they only put it on as the cosigner, it's not worth it. Okay, because it's not building your credit, it's building their credit, and you're making payments to build their credit when you really want to be making payments to build your own credit. All right. Become an authorized user. Here's a quick trick to get someone else's credit history instantly and their good credit standing. All right. Authorized user on someone else's credit card. Let's say your grandfather, your grandmother, your mother, or father have had a MasterCard or an American Express card for 10 years and they never miss a payment. Okay. You ask them, can I be an authorized user on your card? I don't want a card. I don't need your card to spend any money on it. I just want to use your name, your authorized card. A lot of times they'll be hesitant. People always are hesitant, thinking, all right, well, if they're an authorized user, they can use your credit card. Sure, but don't give them a card. Also, make sure that the card reports the info to the credit bureaus on both of your names because as it's reported on both of your names, it shows that payment being made. The card's been open for 10 years, been a good user for 10 years, and instantly you become part of that. So, it's important to do that. It builds up your credit instantly, and you don't have to have a card. You don't have to use the card for the person. Tell them, listen, I don't want the card. I don't want to even know the account information. I just want this stuff being recorded onto my credit report to help me build my credit. If that's the case, they'll feel a little bit safer letting you do it. Also, make sure that they pay their bills. Don't the last thing you want to do is jump on the coattails of someone who's not going to pay their bills. Then it's just going to drive your credit card down. So make sure that they're reputable and they pay all their bills. Okay? Pay credit cards more than once a month. I talked about this before. They may suspend your accounts, but this will keep the balances low and the reports high. Don't let balances get out of hand, even if they suspend your account, which they've done to me in the past because I've made more than one payment in a month. I believe it's because they have to report every payment I made, um, but they can't give me an excuse why they've locked my account. And I call up, and eventually they'll let it go, or they're holding a payment, or some nonsense. But it's paying down a balance. One, paying less interest. Two, keeping that balance low, which looks good for your credit report. All right. So a couple of other tricks to use. I don't want to call them tricks, but they're truths. Okay. So let's review. To build your credits, you need a credit card. If you don't have one, if it's a secured card, make sure it reports to the credit agency. Here's a few here. You can click this hyperlink at the bottom. Card other are not secured, but they'll work for a low credit score. So these credit cards that you can click this link Get something that works with the low credit score if you have a low credit score, and try to start building your credit. Now, once again, I'll remind everybody, if you already have a lot of credit cards, you don't need any of these. So don't apply for them. More likely you'll get accepted, and then unless you have your budgets in order, you'll end up spending money on them that you don't have. Pay down your other credit cards first. Add an installment loan if you can to the mix. Go to the bank, save some money, deposit it. Take a loan, use that loan to pay down some other loans, or just spend some money on it and then pay it off. Pay that installment loan, building your credit. Pay down your credit cards. Make sure they stay below 30%. Use them lightly once they are down there. Don't use them for everything unless you're going to pay them off every month, and then make sure you pay them off before the due date so it gets reported as $0 owed on there. Okay? Check your limits to make sure uh, that they're higher, and if they're not, try to get those limits brought up. Okay? Call them. Try to get the limits increased immediately. Dust off old cards, which means some cards that you may have not been used. Use a little bit, pay it off. Use a little bit, pay it off. It helps to show responsibility. It builds your credit. Dispute those old negatives. Get them off of your credit report as soon as you can. I told you the supplemental lesson with how to get them off and how to write those letters is extremely important. You want to get that stuff off of it. And then if you can, piggyback off of somebody with good credit with their credit card. If you're going to purchase something, see if they can co-sign. Make sure again that they're going to report both names to the credit agency. If they don't waste your time. But piggybacking is an easy way to do it. If you have someone with good credit, you don't need a credit, you just need their name. You need their good credit history. Explain that to them and go from there. All right, budgeting. Well, this moves us into the next lesson. And I hope that you can stick on this, because really the way to build and raise your credit, there's no quick little tricks to do it. All of those things I've told you about will help to build your credit, and it really takes discipline and responsibility. All right? So, how you do that is through a budget. I know budget is about spending. Most people don't like that word budgeting because they don't think they can spend their money. It's not, it's about spending it responsibly. Make sure you stay on your strict budget. Use all of the spreadsheets that are on Destroy Your Debt to help yourself create a budget that you'll stick to. Take that time to work on it. You want to make it instant money right away. Get rid of your television and cable, and that should save you $100 a month. And if you spent that time watching television that you did on understanding, reading, learning about credit, and finding ways to make money, you wouldn't be in half of the bad shape that you are now. Um, Not that any of you are in terrible shape, but you'd be in a lot better shape if you were paying your bills on time, making extra money so you wouldn't be stressed to pay those bills. And some of you may not have a job or have a tough time getting a job. Well, I ask you this question. Do you want to watch television and watch people getting rich, or do you want to get rich yourself? That's really all you're doing when you're watching television. Whether you think you're watching the History Channel, which has no history on it all whatsoever, you'll just watch Pawn Stars and bro these nonsense shows, or do you want to make yourself some money? If you want to make yourself some money, do some research. You got the internet, pay for that. You can watch those TV shows over the internet too. So get rid of cable. That'll save you $100 a month. All right. Pay your bills on time. Most important thing. Be patient. Your credit will increase over time. All right, as you're watching it and monitoring it, you'll see it increase. All right, that's extremely important to monitor it. Stay focused and disciplined. You will get yourself back on track. I know it may seem hopeless. You have a terribly low credit score. You're never going to get out of this. You want to give up. Don't give up. Never, ever, ever give up. You can get it back on track. Okay, if it's that bad, um, take the class on how to start your own S corporation. You start your own corporation, you build credit on that corporation, which starts off with the zero corporation, and you make those purchases like rich people do and keep those securities safe. That's a little bit different if that's all else failed. But in the meantime, you're still trying to build up yours. So don't give up. You can get your credit score up. It's not as hard as you think it is. It's not that difficult. All right? And remember that high credit score means low cost to you. If you have a low credit score, you're paying high interest rates, you're paying more for everything. A low credit score will help you to pay less for everything. No, it doesn't make a lot of sense logically. The people who can't pay have to pay more. The people who can pay less. That's the way it works. I'm sorry for that, but you guys can get your credit score up and then you can really start to make money, build wealth, because now you have the credit to be able to borrow good debt, which we talked about in destroyyourdebt.org, uh, and on the lesson itself, and use that good debt to build and generate income. Alrighty, well, thanks again. I appreciate you guys taking the class. If you have any emails, any questions, look for the articles I have on the website. Look for updates I have in the discussion board. Participate in the discussion board. If there's anything that I didn't go over that you know that helped raise your credit score or raise someone else's, let me know so I can share this with everybody. I mean, this is here. We're here to share information, to get everyone out of debt, to get everyone to build their credit, because the stress that debt and money causes can be devastating to you and your family, and we need to get rid of it. Get yourself focused. Make sure you're ready to do this and go for it. And I guarantee you can do it. Just stay on the pace. All right. Thanks again, everybody. And make sure you check out destroyyourdebt.org for all the other things that are updated, the articles, the spreadsheets, the offers that are up there. Thanks again, and please don't forget to pass this on to someone else who may be having credit issues, because the more people that you help, the better off you'll be. Remember, you can get everything in life that you want if you help enough other people get what they want. That's what I'm doing here, and hopefully you will pay this forward to somebody else. Thanks again, and don't hesitate to email or contact me with any questions or anything that you need. Thanks again, everybody. Take care.